What's up, everyone? Welcome to On the Rock Sports Talk Podcast, where we talk about basketball, football, baseball, college sports, fantasy football, and breaking sports news. Now let's join your host, Sergeant Peeps.
What's up? Welcome back to On the Rock Sports Talk. It's your boy, Sergeant Peeps. Hey, we're still reeling from that game 7 later. It was earlier today, I'm sorry. The Knicks, after promising season, they pretty much just bowed down to the Pacers. But I digress. Let's go and break down these turnover events. Today was a tough pill to swallow for Knicks fans. I'm glad the Knicks lost because I picked the Pacers to win. So they pretty much they was riding high, especially after Game 5. That Game 5 blowout at the Madison Square Garden. And, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, the Garden, it was electric. You seen every star there, just like tonight, well, early today. Every star was there, and they pretty much blew the Pacers out, you know. But Pacers came back Game 6, made it a game. That way they go back to the New York for Game 7, which was today. And they never did really look back, you know. Let's look at some key factors to this game. I mean, pretty much I think it boiled down to a few things. First, the Pacers defense was suffocating on the Knicks. I mean, you can see that. I mean, Jalen Brunson, it was hard. It was hard for him, especially that first half. I know he later on got hurt, but, that happens. They disrupted the Knicks' offensive flow. They forced turnovers, and they was consistent every shot. It seemed like the Knicks couldn't buy a bucket, especially they couldn't go basket for basket with Indiana because you seen they shot lights out. The Pacers was shooting lights out, like I said, 74% most of the game. I mean, they finished with, I think it was 67% from the field, and the Knicks was 42%. So that right there is a winning formula for Indiana for sure. They pretty much that's the highest scoring team in the league this year. So now let's talk about the Knicks star players. Did they underperform? Let's see. Jalen Brunson, he had a decent game. He had a decent game. He shot poorly, but like I say, it was decent. He ended up breaking his hand, but he didn't shoot the ball well. But they were defending him pretty good. Like I say, he later broke his hand in the game, but still wasn't a factor. But he wasn't his usual dominant self. I mean, being a leading scorer in these playoffs, I mean, averaging almost 35. And I think he finished with, I want to say 17, something like that. And also the other small forward, Josh Hart. Josh Hart struggled. He struggled to get going, but he finished with 10 points, but he was nursing an injury from last game. He had an abdominal injury from what they were saying. But it was game 7, so of course he was going to play. And I mean, you can pretty much tell he wasn't him. He finished with 10 points. And what's the other guy name? He who been out pretty much the whole series. He returned for the Knicks, came back from an injured hamstring. As you can tell, he wasn't himself. He was lollygagging up the floor, and he only played 5 minutes. They just took him out because he was a non-factor too. So the Knicks, they needed more of that from that big three, especially when it's a win or go home scenario. I mean, they got 39 points from Dante Da Vinci, he was efficient the whole night. Like I say, he finished with 39. He was going toe to toe with Tyrese Haliburton. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that it definitely wasn't enough. It definitely. So, but the Pacers, Tyrese, he had another stellar performance. He pretty much was one of the difference makers for the Pacers. He was hitting shots. I mean, he started off. He hit his first 3 out of 4 3-pointers from the field. He finished with 26 points. Yeah, I mean, the dude shot a style 50% from three. I think it was 6 out of 12. That's crazy. You know, like I say, running the offense, setting his teammates up with assists, and he pretty much controlled the tempo of the game, which is key. That's how they score. They go up and down that field. They're gonna make sure they score. I mean, the dude's a special player, and he showed up when it mattered. Just like the Knicks probably was depending on Jalen Brunson, but it didn't work out that way. You know, and Pascal, he did his thing. He had a great game. He finished with 20 points. He helped out the game. He got shots when he wanted. When they needed a bucket, you know, sometimes they need to isolate. He had big shots. He really did. And as you can see, that Toronto trade back in January paid off for the Pacers. Now they're going on to the Eastern Conference Final, where they will face Boston Celtics, another high scoring team in the Eastern Conference. And that's gonna be a good one. I think that start Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. But let's see what do you think the Knicks go from here? I mean, pretty much, I think they need to go back to the drawing board. They had a solid season, which is true. They won over 50 games, but this lost thing, they need to address their offensive inconsistency. Jalen Brunson always show up. Like the dude, I think he definitely he got some MVP votes. He did, and I think he's gonna be on the All NBA team. And he pretty much the last 2 seasons, the dude he been lights off for New York. And the team was up 2-0, and I don't know how this team went up 2-0, lost two, went up 3-2 in Game 5. Oh my God, blew them out Game 5, and then they end up getting lost in Game 6 and then lose Game 7. At home, you got home field. This the Madison Square Garden. I get the injuries, but that happened. So that's a lot of talent on this team, but they need to figure out how to put all this together. But I do love that coaching staff. Tibbs, he good to go. I love Tibbs. Even when he was in Chicago, Minnesota, always been a good coach. I think he was a good hire for that team. So, but they need to figure out what they're gonna do with Julius Randle too. Seriously, I don't know what they're gonna keep him, trade him, but they need somebody who's gonna show up in the playoffs. So, and I think he pretty much a ball stopper. You know what I'm saying with that offense. I like the team as it is now without him on that team. I think they need to move him, get somebody else in there. You know, but we'll see. So we'll see what they do this offseason. But that's all I got. Let me know in the comments what you think the Knicks need to do from here to get better this offseason. Be a better team next year. Make it to the Eastern Conference Finals at least. Let me know. Peace.